Sometimes it feels like the world is drowning in noise, confusion, selfishness, and sin. Everywhere you look, people seem to have forgotten what is sacred. Truth is blurred, love grows cold, and faith feels rare. But long ago, there lived a man who knew exactly what that felt like. His name was Noah. In a time when the whole earth turned away from God, when darkness seemed to win, Noah chose to walk a different path. He listened when others mocked. He built when others laughed. He prayed when others forgot how. And because of his faithfulness, God saved not only him, but through him, the future of the world. Noah's story is not just about an ark or a flood. It's about faith that stands firm when the world collapses. It's about prayer that holds steady when heaven feels silent. It's about walking with God, step by step, plank by plank, until grace makes a way through the storm. So today, as we walk through Noah's journey, let's quiet our hearts and listen. Because in a world that's still broken, God is still calling his people to stand, to build, to pray, and to trust him even when the rain begins to fall. The Bible says in Genesis 6, "The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time." It was a world drowning in sin, not water yet, but corruption, pride, and violence. People no longer prayed. They no longer sought God. They lived for themselves, and the sound of heaven's voice was lost in the noise of the world. But then a single verse changes everything. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. What a powerful sentence. While the world looked away, God's eyes found one man whose heart still looked up. Sometimes that's all God needs. One person willing to stay faithful when everyone else forgets. One prayer whispered in the dark. One soul that still believes. Noah was not perfect, but he was faithful. The Bible says he walked with God. In the middle of chaos, Noah kept his heart aligned with heaven. He didn't go with the flow, he went with God. Maybe that's where you are today. You look around and wonder if anyone still believes. You see compromise, confusion, and people chasing things that don't last, and your heart aches because you remember what it means to walk with God. Take courage. God still sees those who choose faithfulness over popularity, prayer over comfort, obedience over applause. He still looks for Noahs in every generation, people who will stay faithful when the world forgets him. So if you feel alone in your faith, you're in good company, because it's often the lonely prayers whispered by the faithful that move the heart of God. One day, in the quiet of his faithfulness, God spoke to Noah. "Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, for I am going to bring a flood upon the earth to destroy all flesh." Genesis 6, 14, 17. Imagine hearing those words. No rain had ever fallen from the sky. No one had ever seen a flood. And yet God told Noah to build a massive ship on dry land. It didn't make sense. But obedience doesn't always need to make sense. Faith isn't built on explanations. It's built on trust. Day after day, Noah picked up his tools, lifted the hammer, and began to build. Not because the sky was dark, but because his heart was sure. Every plank he nailed was an act of prayer. Every beam he raised was a statement of faith. "I believe you, Lord, even when I don't understand." While others laughed, he prayed. While they mocked, he measured wood. While they partied, he prepared. It must have been lonely. Faithful obedience often is. But Noah's strength wasn't in his willpower. It was in his walk with God. The Bible says Noah did all that God commanded him. Not some of it, not most of it, all of it. Because true obedience doesn't stop halfway. Sometimes God will ask you to build something that makes no sense to the world. A dream, a ministry, a family rooted in prayer. A life that looks different from everyone around you. And yes, people may not understand. They may question your choices. But remember Noah. He didn't build the ark for applause. He built it for his salvation. When you walk in obedience, your faith becomes a shelter. Not just for you, but for those God will save through your life. So today, pick up your tools again. Keep building. Keep believing. Keep praying. Because every act of obedience, no matter how small, is preparing something sacred for the storm that's coming. The day finally came when the sky grew dark. Clouds gathered. Winds began to swirl. And for the first time in history, rain began to fall. The same rain that people mocked Noah for now poured from heaven without end. For 40 days and 40 nights, the earth groaned under judgment. Mountains disappeared beneath waves, cities vanished, and all that remained above the water was a wooden ark in the faith of a man who chose to believe God. Inside the ark it must have been quiet. Noah, his family, and the animals, waiting in the dim light, listening to the roar outside. For a time it must have felt like heaven was silent. No more instructions, no more voices, just rain. Have you ever been there? You obeyed, you built, you trusted, and then the storm came. You prayed for peace, but the waves rose higher. You waited for answers, but heaven was silent. That's where Noah was, floating in uncertainty, holding on to faith when everything familiar was gone. But listen closely, silence doesn't mean absence. The God who spoke before the storm was still present in it. The same God who commanded the flood also guided the ark. Even when Noah couldn't see where he was going, God was steering his journey. Sometimes faith isn't about hearing. It's about trusting when you don't. It's in the quiet, the confusion, the unanswered prayers that your faith learns to breathe. Noah couldn't see land, but he had the promise. He couldn't see the sun, but he had the covenant. And in time, the rain stopped. The winds ceased, and the ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. The same storm that destroyed the world was the one that lifted Noah higher. So if you're in the middle of a storm, hold on. The flood that feels like it's drowning you may be the very thing that's carrying you to a new beginning. After months of silence and waiting, the first ray of sunlight broke through the clouds. The door of the ark opened, and for the first time in what must have felt like forever, Noah stepped out onto dry ground. Everything had changed. The world that once mocked him was gone, but God's mercy remained. The very first thing Noah did when he left the ark was not to build a house, not to search for food, but to build an altar. He worshipped. The Bible says, "Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took some of every clean animal, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And God was pleased." The same God who judged sin now extended grace. Never again will I curse the ground because of man. Never again will I destroy all living creatures. And as a sign of this eternal promise, God set a rainbow in the sky. That rainbow wasn't just for Noah. It was for you and me. A reminder that even after judgment, God's heart still leans toward mercy. That even after storms, he still paints hope across the sky. Isn't that just like God?
to meet us after the flood, to whisper grace after the tears, to give us beauty where there was once only loss. The rainbow was heaven's way of saying, I remember you. I haven't forgotten my promise. Maybe your world has changed too. You've come through storms that took more than you expected. You've lost things. You've waited, you've prayed, and now you're standing in the quiet, wondering what comes next. Let the rainbow remind you, God never breaks his promises. The covenant of mercy still stands. Every time you see the colors stretched across the sky, remember, God keeps his word. He still writes hope over every heart that turns toward him. Lord,